Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up your manuscript in APA format using Word. I found a couple of tutorials on on YouTube, but they both made a pretty glaring error in the design of the manuscript, and I do not want you guys making that error. So I'm going to make my own little demonstration. Okay, I'm going to come down here to about a third of the way down the page. That's APA style for where to place your actual title. And I'm going to go ahead and put that just so it'll give us some semblance of where everything is being placed on the page. Now the first thing I want to do before I type anything else is center, and I want to double space. Before you type anything, get centered, get double spaced. Then change your font to Times New Roman size 12. The two choices in APA style are Times New Roman 12 or Arial 12. So I prefer Times New Roman. Okay, now I'm going to pretend like I'm writing the paper that I am working on right now. And I don't exactly know what I'm going to really title it in the long run, but let's just pretend. So I'm going to say memory for word lists as a function of processing task, intent to learn, or let's say, intent to remember, and delay. Okay, I deliberately wrote a long title so that I could show you a couple of things about it. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and type my full name for publication. Think about this one for a second. Figure out, whoops, I mistyped my own name. There we go. Think about this one for a second, because you want to set up your name in a way where you feel the best about it being published. It could be your full given name. It could be your initials. It could be what I've done here is use my given first name, the one that my parents gave me. Then my middle name is actually my name growing up, or what we call in the US our maiden name. That way, if my friends are ever Googling me and they don't know what my married name is, they'll still find the paper, right? And then my married name, because that's the name I go by, and so on. So I've got Jolene, which is my first name, Grover, which is the name that I grew up with, and then Seaver, which is my married name. So I put a little thought into how I wanted my name to appear. I chose not to hyphenate it because I was worried that in search engines it would only find Grover-Seaver, and I didn't, like I said, I wanted my childhood friends to potentially be able to Google me, right? So you want to think about these things. For all of us, our affiliation is going to be Bellevue College. Okay, now for our title page, we are not including any kind of author's notes or acknowledgments or anything like that. So don't type anything else below the Bellevue College on the intro, on the title page. Okay, so like I said, I used a deliberately long title so that I could show you how you go from title to running head. Before I do that, I just want to spend a moment talking about this phrase, as a function of. This is a really elegant way of indicating that this word lists is the dependent variable, and then processing task, intent to remember, and delay are the independent variables. I really personally dislike titles that end in a question mark, so I'd recommend that you not use question marks in your title. You shouldn't be asking a question, you should be making an assertion. So please avoid the question mark. Okay, so now I've basically got the title page set up. Now what we need is the running head. So you go up here to the Insert tab and you select Header. Okay, now APA does not like anything fancy, decorative, or good looking. So you're always going to pick blank or simple or whatever. Okay, so where it says type here, if you just start typing, it'll substitute. Oops, sorry, I can't type. Okay, running head. So notice the capitalization on that, just the R, and then everything else is lowercase. Okay, now we're going to put the actual running head. The rules on the running head are that the running head needs to be 50 characters or less. Another way to think about it is it should not be longer than 5 words. So I think we can agree that my title cannot simply be my running head. I'm going to have to do something to make my title make a shorter running head. To make a running head, you want to have enough specificity so that if your manuscript was sitting on an editor's desk with a bunch of other manuscripts that are about the same basic topic, your running head will stand out as clearly being associated with your paper's topic. What you got to think about the title page being is something that is removed by the editor, and page 2 and the rest of the paper is sent to the peers for review. When the papers come back from review, the editor has to put the reviewed paper back together with the author. The author's name is removed for the purposes of the peer review. So you have to have a specific enough running head that the editor can very easily put your paper back together with your title page. So I wouldn't want to call it just memory for word lists or memory for words or something like that. I would want to call it something more like memory, it should be in all caps, memory, task, intent, and delay. And it's okay to use ampersands in a running head. Okay, now click on this little Insert Alignment tab and click on Right, and then click OK. And then click on the page number, which is over here on the left on my thing, and pick Current Position, and then pick Plain Number. Okay, so now we have, I have one more thing to click. Click on Different First Page, which is right up here. That's really making it think. Oh, awesome, it deleted everything I just did. So hold on a second. Let's capture it again. Apparently you're supposed to click Different First Page before you type all this stuff. So now I've copied it so that now we pretend like I just created it. Okay, so we've got Different First Page. We've got the page number inserted over here. Everything's looking reasonably good except two things. First thing is see where it says header from top, 1/2 inch. APA style demands that it's 1 inch. So go ahead and click that till it's 1, and then come down here underneath the running head and make sure that there's a space under there. If you fail to do this step, you'll find that on your second and subsequent pages, your running head is right on top of the first line of text. And remember, everything needs to be double spaced in APA style. So force a space here. The other thing that's wrong here is our font. You'll notice that it's in Calibri 11 and the rest of the paper's in Times New Roman. So you need to change it to Times New Roman, and remember I had changed it to 12. So there's my correctly formatted running head. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and just copy just the actual running head part and the page number, leaving this running head colon part, leave that there. Okay, now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to create a new page. And apparently I did it in the middle of a line that I did not mean to be hitting. Whoops. Don't know how I did that. Perfect. I meant to be clicking down here. Click down here. Thank you. Okay. Now we hit enter. Okay. So now I have to double click on the header to get it active again, and see how it says different first page, yet it didn't, the second page currently is matching. Go ahead and delete out the words running head, double click down here in the body of the paper. Let's go check. There's page 1, says running head colon memory, task, intent, and delay. Down here it just says memory, task, intent, and delay. Now do you see anything wrong? Ooh, pop quiz. Memory, task, intent, and delay. Memory, task, intent, and delay. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but it's the wrong font again. So let's get that font fixed. It went defaulted to Calibri when it did a different second page. Okay. Once you get this set up, it'll take care of itself, and you never have to think about anything again with regard to your running head, your margin on the top, or anything. It'll just take care of itself. You'll notice it's got my cursor starting on the second page, and in fact I'll just wrap up this little style tutorial with one more piece of advice, which is on the page 2, which is your first page of actual writing. You don't write title, you instead center the title of the paper right here. Okay, now I see it's done something odd that I don't want, so I'm going to fix that real quick. There we go. Center your title right here on the first line, and notice, see, it's double spaced because I forced that line after the running head. Center your title. Okay, now for some reason it's not on double spacing anymore. Okay. I do enjoy this frustration that Word provides for us. It is quite beautiful. It's quite entertaining. I like particularly how it thinks it knows what you want, so it'll change what you've actually asked for. It's like, I didn't ask for that. Why are you numbering this list? I did not make a list. That was just a one dot. Please quit treating it like a list. Other times it can't figure out that you want consistency along your whole paper. Anyway, so you've centered your title. I always like to go with the copy and paste method because, like my policy, why type when you can copy and paste? On your first line you hit tab and you start typing. Oh, my tabs aren't set up, so you can go, there you go, now I have a tab. Alright, so some of this stuff that you're going to learn with regard to writing this literature review is really going to be about how to use Word, and unfortunately that's kind of the part of the learning process. I have had students in the past who will laboriously type their running head and their page number on every page, and it reveals itself when you submit your paper to Canvas, and I use Crocodoc, which is the grading system within Canvas, and it completely messes up your formatting. If you have embedded running heads and page numbers, they'll stay where they belong. But if you try and just sort of muscle them in there, Crocodoc will mess them up. So it's worth your energy right now to figure out how to do this. If you're going on in Psych, this is not going to be the last APA style paper that you're writing, so you might as well figure this out now. So go ahead and figure this out. Unfortunately, it works best in Word. If you have any other kind of word processor, I really don't know how to guide you on that. But this is how you do it in Word. Alright, I will have more tutorials as the quarter goes on that'll show you more and more specifically how to do these things. Alright, talk to you guys later.